Yes, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are here again. We want to apologize for the little hitches we had there, all technical issues, and we believe over time we'll perfect our craft and get it right. But we want to thank you for still remaining there and being with us. Our in-house guest is still here, Kelechi Imo. Kelechi Imo, you're welcome again.
Thank you.
Yes, today, as we said earlier on, we want to focus our main discussion on the alleged dehumanization of Nigerians, especially Abians, that work in a Chinese company in Abia State. So that's the focal discussion for today, where we'll also review national contents, happenings every part of the world. Remember that the platform to get all your news, up-to-date news content is www.afnews.ng. afnews.ng. Let me repeat again, afnews.ng. That's where you can Google it at any point in time in your day, and you read all the updates and upcoming news and trending news all over Nigeria and the world. We want to thank you for still remaining with us. This is AF Television, and my name is Emenike Irebu, the anchor of this show. Yes, my guest is Kelechi Imo, and he's here with me. Kelechi, this issue of dehumanization of workers, it seems as though this news has been prevalent in Chinese companies in Nigeria and in around Africa. What do you think is the reason behind these activities?
Well, I wouldn't know for sure. I can't tell, but I think we need to set an example. Okay, I don't understand why a company such belonging to a reputable nation such as China will be messing up with indigenous and citizens of Abia and the rest of Africa. This is really bad. I think the Abia government need to swing into actions immediately to know actually what's happening in that Galazi company.
Yes, information that just got to us this morning is saying that that particular company, that the Abia State government have sent a fact-finding team to the company to discover the root cause of the development and what's really because there's a need, as we said. This is an allegation, it's not verified, so there's a need for verification of that allegation so that we'll make sure that everything that the public is getting is true and fact. At the end of the day, the Abia State government have promised to bring out a report on their findings, but we just hope that they will do their finding thoroughly and get to the bottom of the issue. One of the issues on this trend is that, of course, is a Twitter. You can see this picture here of a man that his legs were amputated during his functioning in that particular company, and after the injury we got that the company did not even pay him any form of compensation.
That's ridiculous. That's madness. This is wickedness. A company such as that could not no. The government should really work. The man needs to be compensated. In fact, they should sue that company to court. This is wickedness on their own part.
As you can see, these tweets have been trending on Twitter for some days, and this is the time we actually focusing on it so that we can really see how to push government to do the right thing and the company itself to do the right thing. It says, on a final note, let me state it here categorically that out of 1,000 Nigerian workers with Inner Galaxy Group, it was in June that the company gave 18 employers offer letters out of over 1,000 workers.
What?
Can you imagine? After working with them for close to how many years now, that is just a few days ago that they gave just 18 people offer letters. That means they've been working as ad hoc staff.
It does appear that this is an intentional act. From what you just read, it does appear it's an intentional act from the company. I'm sure that the government is going to take this thing personal because the company needs to pay. They need to pay those workers for their time wasted, because if you are just issuing 18 out of 1,000, what do you mean? So others are just coming there to let it be as if we are doing something. So that means if anything happens to them, they take no responsibility. That's what it means.
I know that the Nigerian Labour Union have been fighting against casualization of workers. No. And is it not necessary that they also come in now and see what they can do in respect to workers that are there on casual workers?
Exactly. The chairman of the NLC in the state should also get involved. I hope he's among the committee that is being set up by the government to go and investigate what actually is happening. This wickedness. This is wickedness, I must say this.
So, based on this, we have other allegations there which we are going to go through at the course of our discussion today. But let's move into another issue again that's happening in Nigeria, another trending issue on our platform. Remember, we told you that the place you can get authentic news content, you can find it at any point in time, you can read it, you can enjoy it, is on www.afnews.ng. Make sure that you always Google it in the morning, in the night, and in the evening, and get complete updates of happenings in and around Nigeria. And Balarabe Musa, the former governor of Kaduna State, is making another very strong statement. He said, civil war. Balarabe Musa raises alarm, says Buhari has failed woefully. Let me give you an insight into the story this morning. He said, the Second Republic governor of Old Kaduna State, Alhaji Balarabe Musa, says President Buhari has woefully failed the nation. He also faulted President Buhari over the high level of insecurity and killings in the country, mostly in southern Kaduna. Speaking while condemning the incessant attack and killings in southern Kaduna and other parts of the country, Alhaji Balarabe Musa said, no serious and patriotic government will allow this level of killing of his citizens by terrorists and be watching aimlessly. Something again the man said which also drew attention of journalists all over the world is that Nigerians must do a lot to ensure that civil war does not break out under Buhari's administration, as relayed by Professor Obadiah Malafa.
Listen, you can imagine, we have all said it, we've constantly said it, that the present administration needs to act. The high level of insecurity in this country has never been recorded before. And if you discover people who are talking now have been people who have never talked. These are people who are hardly known even in the media space. They hardly issue statements. And when people like him will start coming out to say some things like this, it calls for caution. It calls for a kind of re-engineering. It calls for a kind of rethinking. The president, Mr. President Muhammad Buhari, needs to act. Why is the country in a state of comatose? Why are we behaving the way we are today? Why is the security not winning the war against insecurity? What's actually happening? He needs to sit down, call the kitchen cabinet and say, listen, the first duty of government is to protect lives and property. And a situation whereby we are not meeting up to the people's standard, that means we have failed. So I think that the president needs to go back, sit down and have a kind of rethinking whether he's administrating. Let him call himself. I'm sure that is what is needed at this point.
Now, you see, you just heard what Balarabe Musa talked about. Nigerians must do a lot to ensure that civil war does not break out under. What will Nigerians do? He's calling on Nigerians. How can Nigerians actually stop a breakout of civil war in the situation we are at the moment?
A lot of people have been clamoring for a revolution. A lot of people have been clamoring. At the national level, we've heard people like Shaware. These are people who are tired. I have constantly asked my question, where are all these people that used to carry black hats? They will all go to Ganifa Emi parks, hold rallies. Where are they? Where are they?
Maybe they have. You know, when you are eating, you don't talk.
They come off it. Perhaps that's also.
Maybe they are eating at the moment and they cannot talk.
But I would have loved to mention names. But where are they? We all know them. Where are they? This is the time to carry all those black hats. The country is not well. And sometimes, or even in football, the spectators see more than the referee. When the people start acting, okay, look at what is happening in Mali. Come on. Nigerians need to act.
Okay, our guest is saying that Nigerians need to act more. We just talked about a statement made by Alhaji Balarabe Musa. In that statement, he was calling on. He actually scored the president low. He said the president has failed woefully. I don't know what is your view, what you think. Is it true that the President Muhammad Buhari's government have failed woefully? If it's your view, then post it here. Comment under our trend there so that we can read it out. If you think Alhaji Balayi Musa is wrong, also state it here so that people can actually know your view and we'll read it out here. We are here to work together and make sure we get to the top of the game. Okay, we're going direct back now to Anambra State. Immediately we're going to Anambra State, and the story we're having here is that Obiano, Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State has suspended 13 more traditional rulers. The governor, remember some few days ago he suspended one particular one?
Yes.
And he's saying that Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State has suspended 12 more traditional rulers in the state for 1 year each. The suspension came few weeks after Obiano suspended Igwe Peter Nwaya, ruler of Ekulobia, community of council, blah 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 blah. Okay, so let's read the reason why they said so. The reason why they were suspended. Suspension letter. If you read there, you will still see it under that particular. That's why we want you to Google it. You Google it, you can read the letter there also. And the letter says suspension of 12 traditional rulers in Anambra State. The Traditional Ruler Council of Anambra State resolved on August 11, 2022 that 12 of their members who traveled outside the state recently without consultation approval from the state government be sanctioned. The government has accepted the recommendation. And their names are there. When you go to our platform, you read it. By the power conferred on Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Anambra State under Section 10 of B of Anambra State Traditional Rulers Law. So, obviously what we have seen here is that they were sanctioned for 1 year, suspended for traveling without taking clearance from the government. What is your take on that? What is your take on that?
Well, if they went against the law of the land, I'm not against
a traditional ruler, civil servants or something.
That's why I said if they went against the law.
Don't you think? For me, I think this kind of law should be looked at how to amend it. How can you? Is a traditional ruler a civil servant? as in, is a traditional ruler in his community. He will not be a civil servant to maybe government, and then whenever he wants to travel, he will take clearance as if he's a NYC.
The question we need to ask: when did they even travel to? They went to see the president.
If you travel for medical attention or you travel for something else,
because if it is because I heard rumor has it that they went to see the president and the president denied them access. Rumor has it.
Wow.
And maybe it was this man, the Atoeze, that engineered it. A lot of rumors.
Okay, let's even see a little bit what they are saying here. Chief Basil, chairman of APC in Anambra, accused Abga led government of meddlesomeness in the affair of the traditional ruler institution, saying that it was worrisome and unfortunate. He said the development had political undertone, which had a likelihood of strangling traditional institutions and making them to dance to the whims and caprices of the governor. As a people of culture, our traditional institutions and rulers are sacrosanct and should be treated as such. The recent imbroglio between the government and some traditional rulers in the state is a clear pointer to this fact. The suspension and withdrawal of certificate of recognition by the state government of the traditional rulers of the name is another plot to muzzle down traditional rulers in Anambra State.
It's a typical example of he who pays the piper dictates the tune.
Dictates the tune. He who pays the piper dictates the tune. That is the statement our in-house guest just made this morning. That has to say that the government, okay, we have another development here, but in a post by a human rights activist, Chidi, the rulers may have been punished for visiting Chief Atoeze, a prominent leader of the state.
I knew that. Now, to tell you,
does it mean that the government is fighting with Atoeze?
That's what I'm saying. This has to do with this politics. It has political undertone, but it goes to show how backward we are and how we disregard the royals too. Okay, we don't have regard for our traditional rulers. We don't hold them at the very highest. This is why people say Igbo, because you cannot do this to the Oba of Benin. You can't do this to all the first class chiefs.
Another issue you should look at is this, Kelechi Imo, is that as a traditional ruler, you have subjects. What is wrong with you visiting your subject, whether he's in APC or he's in PDP or is in Abga or any party, are they not all your subjects?
You know. In fact, let me just refresh our memory a little bit. Was it last week? Members of the APC went to pay the Oba of Benin a visit, a royal visit, and I listened to Oba, what's his name, Apollo or something. He said that the Benin throne does not belong to any political party. It's bipartisan. That the Benin throne does not belong. He said it. In fact, he said it more than 3 times. I think that kind of consciousness should also be in the minds of our politicians, our governors. That the royal stool down here does not belong to any political party or individual, irrespective of whether the government in power is or for against such individual or party. What is playing out in Anambra State is a complete example, is a perfect example of he who pays the piper takes the tune. This means that if these people maybe go ahead to support maybe somebody who is not supposed to be the governor's candidate, for example, the governor can wake up from the wrong side of the bed and say, collect their own stick, royal stick.
Don't you think that this also as a result of commercialization of the traditional titles?
I agree.
Because you find that most of our traditional rulers are now more political than even politicians.
I agree.
For example, there are so many of them now who no longer, they even support candidates instead of them being
openly. Yes.
This is one of the challenges of there's a story of the cock with the fox. The fox, when he sees the cock and the red comb on his head, he runs away. He says, "Fire! This is fire!"
Yes.
But one day, the cock now called the fox. He said, "Come, why are you running from me?" He said, "Look at the fire on your head." He said, "No, come and touch it. It's not fire. Come and touch it." So when the fox touched it, if it was not fire, it now ends.
Yes, the cock.
So I think the traditional rulers also have exposed themselves to ridicule, to being seen as a political tool.
It's true.
Because if that's what I think, and I think they need to work on that.
It's true.
So let's move directly to another story on our platform this morning. We're moving to another story. Former U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, Walter Capriton, dies at 90. A former United States ambassador to Nigeria, Walter Capriton, is dead. This was confirmed in a statement signed by his wife, Arise Capriton. He was aged 90. She wrote, "It is with heavy heart and broken heart. It was with heavy and broken heart, but with gratitude to God for his life of selfless humanity, that I announce the passing of my beloved husband, Walton Capriton, former U.S. ambassador to Nigeria and Senegal." He passed away peacefully and surrounded by loved ones at the age of 90 years old on Tuesday, August 11, 2020. Further announcements will be made shortly. Walter was a loving husband, father, grandfather, cousin, uncle, friend, and in-law.
Yeah.
That's where we are at the moment.
Yeah, we condole with the family. The man was a complete Nigerian. He came home, took our daughter, married her. The wife is from Edo State. So this is a heavy loss to not just to his parent country, but us here in Nigeria. So I send my condolences to the family.
So we should be also feeling bereaved for the loss of a American Nigerian who obviously played a very reliable role in strengthening the relationship of Nigeria and the United States of America.
Exactly, and even our democracy.
Even our democracy played a very active role, and we need to actually condole the family and also feel grieved the way the family is feeling grief at the moment. We pray that God gives his soul an eternal rest and peaceful rest again.
Amen.
Yes. So let's move on. Let's move back to our story, our main story of the day, which has been trending in and around Abia State. It has been trending on Twitter for some days now. Let's move back to that story and also see some other angle of it and see what we can say about that, a new angle of it. And that will be the area of, we are told that if you also go to that particular company, the section at which Nigerians or mostly Abians have their lunch is so unkept.
You see,
but that of the Chinese are well organized and kept.
You see, the government needs to look into this issue. We cannot be suffering in our own country. During this pandemic, we saw pictures and videos too of Nigerians who have been harassed in China. They were made to sleep outside. The same China that is being accused of where this virus originated from. We cannot be suffering outside and also suffering inside.
Now look at the picture we have here on it. You see where they say them workers are camped. Where workers are camped in a prison-like accommodation provided by the company. See where Nigerian workers of Inner Galaxy Group sleep after 13 hours of tedious job daily. You can see the picture. I don't think we have the picture on the screen now, but we have the picture in-house here and we are going through it. And then you can see where they say the Chinese employees, masters of Inner Group have their meal. I sneaked in a secret camera to capture this. Please compare it to what Nigerians use and see the difference for yourself.
It's bad. It's bad. The relationship between Nigerians and Chinese, they are like husband and wife. In fact, it's not wrong to say that every Nigerian is a Chinese man, because we do businesses there. Our young people travel there for businesses, come back, they even marry. Okay, so we gave you people opportunity to bring in your goods, even come down here to create employment. I know that in the terms and conditions of building your company and generating employment, there was no place that was written that you must dehumanize our Abians or Nigerians.
Yeah, so still on that same story, you see another what's it called? Screenshots here, screenshot of a company. You see where they say this lady was sacked by Chinese employers at Inner Galaxy Group because a Chinese master solicited for paid sex from her and she declined. You see another issue there again.
These are
still allegations, so it needs to be verified.
These are still
but then it's becoming so troubling based on even these allegations.
I trust Abia government to swing into, as she said, they've already gone into action. I'm sure that they will do a thorough investigation and let whoever that offends be brought to book.
But let me even ask you, if Wike was the governor of Abia State, what do you think would happen this morning?
Wike will be there live. Wike, my man, Wike will be at that company live. All the people working in that company, they will all be there, but we are not comparing.
Yeah, we're not comparable, but I think we need something close to that kind of action at this moment.
Of course.
Because Abians need to feel that, yes, that they are covered, that they are carried along, that people, their government is protecting them.
Let us wait till the government bring out their fact findings.
Okay, let us go further and look at other content also on our platform this morning, other news contents, before we will still come back to this trending story of what's happening in what's the company name again? Inner Galaxy Group, a company that is located in Asa, Okwa West local government area of Abia State. They have different sections in that large compound. Difference of the company they have where they do more of conversion of waste. They convert scrap metal waste to new metals. They convert plastic waste to plastic buckets, and so they do a lot of job which we Abians appreciate. But then even at that, we will not appreciate them dehumanizing Abians and Nigerians that work there. That is not fair. And then it's also call for concern that people will be working there for so many years. Out of the 1,000 people working there, that we only have 18 that are real staff. Other people are casuals. That means if anything happened to you, you are on your own.
I pray that after all this fast finding, that the government will ensure that even if they are going to retrench workers, because don't be surprised, things like that will come up. If the 1,000 workers will not be absolved, they will be paid handsomely.
Okay. FCMB has come out again to make statement. They have come out to say, look, what trended over the week is not correct. What people are saying about us is not correct. That is not what we said. They said that, look, we did not mistakenly, let them say, they're saying it again and they're shouting. FCMB speaks again. We didn't mistakenly transfer 753 million into Pastor Omole's account. Remember that Pastor Omole, as we gather, is an associate of the suspended EFCC boss, Ibrahim Magu. Pastor Omole is the associate. In fact, he was described as Magu's pastor. I wonder how a Muslim will now have a pastor, but then they could be associates and good friends. People can seek for prayer from anywhere when the time of need comes. FCMB says, FCMB has debunked reports that the sum of 573 million was mistakenly transferred into the account of Pastor Emmanuel Omole in error. Pastor Omole is an associate of suspended acting chairman of EFCC, Ibrahim Magu. The managing director of FCMB, Adam Mura, was reported to have said the bank just discovered that 573 million was mistakenly posted into the church account of Pastor Omole while testifying before the Presidential Committee on Audit and Recovered Assets last Thursday. The Presidential Committee on Audit of Recovered Assets had accused Magu of allegedly using Omole, founder of the Divine Hand of God and Prophetic Ministry, to launder funds abroad. The committee, headed by retired Justice Ayo Salami, said the former acting chairman purchased a property worth 573 million in Dubai using Omole's name, an allegation the pastor denied. However, in a statement issued by Group Head Corporate Affairs Darren Olojo on Wednesday, said the attention of the bank had been drawn to a widely circulating story incorrectly stating that its managing director during a recent presidential hearing in Abuja testified that the bank mistakenly transferred 573 million to the account of a church and that the said error was not discovered for 4 years. So let us go there and see what again he said. We feel it is in public interest to state clearly that there was no transfer of 573 million into this account, mistakenly or otherwise. To provide further clarity, during a maintenance upgrade of our system in 2016, a dictative file led to the aggregation of multiple unrelated entries into a single balance under the affected customer's name in one of his reports. What exactly are they talking about?
They are confusing us here.
Because I just said it that
it was not mistaken.
To provide further clarity, during a maintenance upgrade of a system in 2015, a defective file led to the aggregation of multiple unrelated entries into a single balance under the affected customer's name in one of our reports. That means the money was paid.
They are just reconstructing the grammar. Reconstructing the grammar. Reconstructing the grammar. What is this?
So he said, according to the bank, this aggregation occurred only in the weekly automated report to the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, saying that it had no effect on any customer's account balance or statement and therefore was not immediately identified. How would you say that money aggregated into, for example, Kelechi's account and his account grew and you're telling me that he cannot withdraw it? What are we talking about? These people have an issue with English. Yes. I think Nigerians cannot be bamboozled with this long grammar. We know so much to be used as if we don't know what we are doing. Let's move forward to another story that has been trending on Twitter, on Facebook, on social media, and is also on our platform afnews.ng. Remember that any form of authentic news content that you desire to read, to enjoy, the best place to find it is afnews.ng. www.afnews.ng is the warehouse of every current news and authentic news. For you to enjoy this news, make sure you follow us consistently, and we are sure you will see all this upcoming news. Yes, we are going direct to Lebanon, but they are not Lebanon in Lebanon, they are Lebanese in Nigeria. Just in, 2 Lebanese nabbed trying to smuggle $890,000 out of Nigeria.
See, sometimes I wonder what gives these people liver.
Of course, they have done it before and they're going to go with it. They feel they can do it again.
Abi?
You see, the problem in this country is that corruption is so much in this country that people can now believe they can do anything.
I'm telling you, even outsiders.
I'm telling you now, they believe, in fact, they even have more chance to do it even than Nigerians. Because most times outsiders here in Nigeria are looked as demigods.
Yes.
You will see outsider that maybe a Lebanese that in his country is a carpenter. But when he comes to Nigeria here, he has 4 soldiers.
I'm telling you.
So what are we talking about? When he has 4 soldiers escorting him to a particular assignment, if he's carrying even $1 million passing, who would even stop him? Somebody. So let's see the story. The EFCC has commenced the investigation of 2 Lebanese, Dina, Jida, Alia, and Wala. They were arrested on Wednesday by officers of Custom Area Command, Port Harcourt, River State. Kali and Mohammed were attempting to smuggle a total sum of $890,000 out of Nigeria through the Port Harcourt International Airport, not even through the bush, through the airport. The suspects have been handed over to the zonal office of the EFCC. Mohammed Olaniko, Custom Area Controller, disclosed that Kali, with passport number LR152975, Republic of Lebanon, was arrested with $670,000, while with Mohammed, the same number there, with $220,000. They were both arrested while trying to board a flight to Lebanon.
Can this...
You know, Lebanon is where we have an issue currently now where there's a Beirut explosion.
Yes. Before even this explosion, even now, can they try it in their own country?
You see, if you have studied those people, they have so much kind of criminal tendencies. That's the truth about it. So I think we need to investigate this very well. The EFCC need to investigate it very well. Let's know even their accomplice. Are there Nigerians accomplice involved in it? And so we can actually go to the root of this matter and make sure we solve it. Yeah, we have a message from what's his name? Saying a bank transferred a whooping sum of 573 million naira mistakenly is purely not possible. A bank performed what they call end of the day EOD, end of the month EOM, quarterly analysis, and annual balancing and review. That news is deceitful and can never be correct. I think it's a banker.
He's a banker.
Yes.
He's a banker. You and I know that statement was deceitful. They are just trying to use grammar to cover. You see, somebody is not telling the truth. Now, the way the bank is responding, it does appear that they might know the truth of what happened.
What we know is that we need to get to the root cause of this matter. Mbuku, we have seen what you are saying on alleged smuggling. They should properly investigate them because they are not acting alone. Besides, I thought international flight is still banned. So we have a lot of issues. Yes, Mbuku have made a very serious issue there, which we should look at. Mbuku is one of the respected Abia writers. He writes consistently on issues and raises matters that needs urgent concern. And he has also stated his opinion on that issue. Alhaji Musa said, what is obvious, economically Nigeria has done worse as of today. The dollar is 478 in the parallel market and 386 officially. So many microeconomic activities have folded up. Security of lives and properties have not done any better. Wholesome killing in southern Kaduna is evidence of poor security in the country.
He said the truth.
He said the truth. Of course, that means Balabe Musa is being supported by Mbuku Ihedibu. He's saying that the man is saying the truth. He has on that comment here, and he said, it is very sad that up till now, government of Abia State have not issued any statement on the alleged dehumanization of Abians in that company. If they are investigating, they should tell us. If they are quiet, they should also tell us. Chinese employers are notorious in their act of torture. Yes, Mbuku, just like I said earlier on, we don't got information that at the moment, Abia State government have sent a team to actually investigate and know what's happening there. I think also, just like you raised an issue, UNPAN will also look into it. I also urge UNPAN of Abia State to use the Freedom of Information Bill as an advantage to go into illegal security. Yes, I think UNPAN will that will be raised on that issue so they can be aware of that position and actually look into that matter seriously. Okay, let's still move into another issue again, still on our platform. Remember that all this news, you can get them on www.afnews.ng. We've just finished discussing about 2 Lebanese men that tried smuggling about $900,000 out of Nigeria to their country. We don't know if they want to use to go and rebuild Lebanon after the blast. But then, just like Mbuku said, we need to investigate and get to the root cause of the matter and know those Nigerians who participated in that crime. They need to be stopped. That's what we call pure money laundering. Remember that you can actually follow us on all our platforms. Abia Fact newspaper on Facebook. You can Google it on Facebook, or you can search on it on Facebook, and then you can like it. Remember, look for the page that has above 120,000 followers and like that one. We have a lot of clone pages which are not our own. We'll say it again, it's not our own. You can also follow us on AF News, still on Facebook. On Twitter, you'll find us on AF News NG on Twitter, AF News NG on Instagram, AF Television on YouTube. We will enjoy you to always enjoy our contents and videos every day. We need you to always read and be updated. Let's go to a story that we just talked about some time ago. Tragedy. A tanker in Abia State. It happened in Abia State here. Tragedy. A tanker crushes 3 keke tricycle in fatal road crash. He said a fatal accident involving a water tanker and 3 tricycle, popularly known as keke, took place this evening in Umuahia, the Abia State capital. According to eyewitness report, the accident happened in Umuago Ibeku, close to Vina Pet filling station in Umuago Ibeku, a few minutes to 7 p.m. yesterday.
Wow, that's bad.
You see, don't we need, I think these are keke riders need orientation, because even when we are driving,
yes,
you see the way most of them drive.
Yes.
And when you try to make them know this is not right, they even insult you.
They insult you.
They will say, look at this time.
Insult you.
It's
true.
This nonsense.
It's true. In fact, everybody, I think there should be this creation of awareness too among motorists. In fact, especially these big vehicles. I personally had one experience last week on my way somewhere around the Mission Hill. I saw a bullion van coming with a high speed, and this big vehicle carrying chippings with a high speed. They collide each other at the what do you call it, at the Opera Square.
How?
Imagine 2 ions jamming together, but nothing happened to 2 of them, and they continued. Look at me, innocent me. I was just at the middle. I just found my way inside Sacklos Sacklos company.
So you just took cover. Immediately you saw what was going to happen.
Took cover. No, now God saved me.
Okay, remember that yesterday was International Youth Day.
Yes.
And Obasanjo is making a statement. Obasanjo is making a statement. You know, Obasanjo does not lack what to say at any time he wants to speak.
He doesn't.
Anytime he decides to speak, you will know that he will spit some fire. And that there's a need for us to always listen to what he says at every point in time. Obasanjo is speaking. Obasanjo is speaking. He is saying, Obasanjo is speaking, the former president of Nigeria is speaking. Remember a few days ago he talked about the late senator from Ogun State, Burushi Kashimu. Now he has gone, he's now talking about the state, it's the youth itself. He's raising an issue. He's asking youths to take over power. He said, take over power from these old politicians. Don't allow them put you down. Obasanjo advises youth on what to do come 2023. The former president has warned African youth to note that leadership position would not come their way until they squeeze older generations out of office. Do you think there needs to be there's a need to be a squeezing?
It's not easy even in the squeezing. After all, we have a law not to young to run. It's already. Well, how many people are there? How many young people? You see, it's not as easy as it is said. Okay, but my point is, he issued an advice. The young people should keep working. It's not easy.
So you mean that we should not squeeze these older people?
If we pamper them, we shouldn't too pamper them. Okay, we shouldn't squeeze them. Because I'm imagining Obasanjo. I know he's somebody that chooses his words very carefully. So I know what he's trying to say. We can't use force. We can't really use force. What we can use is determination. If we are determined to squeeze these people out of power, we will squeeze them out of power. For now, there are a lot of blockage.
Advantages? What do you think are the disadvantages of youths getting to power in Nigeria?
Disadvantages.
What are their challenges? What are the problems?
Challenges is one, finance, godfatherism. There are people who you would want to use in your own words, mentors, but immediately they give you that platforms, they want to dictate to you, even to the extent of you want to go and urinate, use the bathroom or the toilet, you need to take permission from them. So one, finance, godfatherism. Now another factor is capacity. Capacity, we do not have a majority of young people who have the capacity, the trainings to take over the reins of power.
And when they've not given opportunity
exactly
to attempt to take up to at least mentor.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The mentor, they are not giving you the right platforms. Okay, many of them will prefer to give you Android phones to fight their enemies on social media. Instead of empowering you.
That one day, it happens.
Okay, so you now discover that sometimes you sit back and ask yourself the questions. What is this man actually, is he actually doing me a favor? Instead of you to empower you, there are two sets of youths. We have the young people who know where they want to get to, but they don't have the means. We also have another set of people who do not know where they want to get to, but they have the means. And most of the time, these people are those people who you call privileged, the children of the politicians.
Okay, yes, Obasanjo advised youths to squeeze. Remember the word, you need to keep this word in your vocabulary. Squeeze older generations out of office. I think actually that youths need to step up. When it comes to election period, the youths are the major players.
It's unfortunate.
The youths are the people that decides who win. The youths are the armies on the field. The youths are the mobilizers. The youths are almost everything. By the end of the day, the youths are left out of political positions when the government is formed. I think it is time for the youths to begin to redirect what happens. Because if the youths can decide the outcome of the election, they can try to decide that their own youth also should win the election.
My advice to the youths, because I'm also one,
yes,
have principles.
Yes.
Because from experience, what I've discovered is, when these people give you some peanuts, you tend to forget about what you believe in or stand for. Until we begin to have youths who have said, enough is enough. This peanuts you are giving me is only going to mortgage my future. Until we come to that level where we'll start talking of enough is enough. This is my future you are talking about. I'm not talking about in the now. I'm talking about my future. 100,000, 200,000, 1 million naira self.
It's not good enough.
It's not good enough.
Okay. Mbuku also just dropped a statement now. He said Obasanjo's advice is very timely, but I think he should keep quiet. He bettered this administration that is ravaging this country. How can youth even take over when Abia PDP elected about a 65 years old man as a leader, as a youth leader? Maybe in Nigeria, youthful age starts from 50. Okay, let us go to our final story of the day. There's a controversy that Imo Assembly Maze is allegedly missing, that it is missing. That's missing. And people say it's linked.
It's linked Nigeria.
They say it is missing. That it could have been linked to a door. So what do you think? What do you think? You think it's really missing? But they have said no, it's not true. So I think we should let them just prove that it's not true.
Yes.
So finally, let's go back to our story now again and then finalize on our main story of the day. I would want our guest in the studio, Kelechi Mo, to actually tell the state government what you will expect to see from the investigation. What you want to see.
Action. I am calling on the governor, Keze Bazo, and his team to make sure that they do a thorough investigation and let anybody who is responsible to either recruit, retain, or retrench, whichever, that this staff or this there was one word you used again, this casual staff.
Yes, the casual staff.
That they are well absorbed. If they are not going to be absorbed into the system, they should pay them off handsomely. That in that way they can also start a new life with that. That's my advice to the state government as regards to this. Okay,
we've heard the opinion of the advice of our in-house guest Kelechi Imo as regards the alleged dehumanization of Nigerian workers, especially Abians who are working in Inner Galaxy Group in Asa, Okwa West local government area. I am calling on Abia state government to take this very serious. Abians are expecting them to take action. Abians are expecting to see reports. Abians want to be sure that what they are saying, what they are investigating is true. There are so many Abians who feel that the matter will be thrown under the dustbin. It's a time for the state government to prove them wrong. It's time for them to stand up on the facts of the matter and come public on issues. We would not, because we want to have investors now have our people dehumanized. We want the state government to take action. We are not saying that the Chinese company should be sent away. No, we are saying that if they are found guilty, they should be sanctioned until advised to remain here in Abia, but do it properly.
Yes,
that's what Abia rules. Yes, there are rules and regulations. We thank you very much for being with us in the studio this morning, and we say God bless you and have a wonderful day. Remember, our evening program is coming. Before it comes on, you will have information concerning that. Thank you. This is AF Television under the platform of AF News. God bless you. My name remains Emeniki Rebu, the anchor of this show.